Hi guys, and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing MotoGP 21. We're going to be playing MotoGP and discussing the 3 Grand Prix from Valencia in the real-life MotoGP. And of course, 3 fantastic Grand Prix, championship decider in Moto2, and the last dance for Valentino Rossi, which we'll all discuss in today's video. But starting up, number 1, Moto3, came on first, of course, 10 o'clock, and it was absolutely awesome. Moto3 never disappoints, it really doesn't. There's the competition and the competitive nature of all the riders just stands out every single Grand Prix. It's absolutely thrilling to watch, and Valencia was no exception. Now, there was a bit of a disaster on the first lap, and unfortunately for some unfortunate fans who are fans of such as Darren Binder, Lorenzo Fallon, all crashed at the very, very first lap. It seems to be always the same, going into McDowan corner, chucking to the left-hand side, another left again, then finally on the right-hand side after quite a while going into the Nico Terrell corner for turn 4. Carnage is ensued, either a cold tyre or just a little bit eager on the acceleration. Seemed to be a bit of a contact and a carnage ahead of middle of the group towards where Lorenzo Fallon was. So unfortunately Darren Binder, I think he's seen the action unfolding in front of him and reacted to it, but I think he might have just been too aggressive on the acceleration. So disaster already straight off the bat for some of the riders on this final Grand Prix of the 2021 season. But what an amazing finish it really was for Xavi Artigas, winning here in his first ever victory here in MotoGP. A 3rd place last season, so he certainly did one better, or 2 better if you will, here in Valencia. Brilliant performance for the Leopard Racing Honda rider. Sergio Garcia took 2nd place. Did expect him to try and beat Xavi Artigas towards the end. Of course he did try, but wasn't able to beat the young Spaniard. So amazing job for the local lad. Sergio Garcia, fantastic. And Jaume Masia on the podium as well. I do believe he's also around this neck of the woods. Of course he is Spanish, so he is from the part of the country. But amazing job for Jaume Masia. Really inspired me to think that Jaume Masia next season, without Pedro Acosta, without some of the other riders in that championship, it could cause him a bit of trouble. He should have a wonderful chance, and it's about time for Jaume Masia. He really needs to step it up and be the World Championship contender that he should be. He is very, very talented, but does have a lot of mistakes, as we've seen this season. Too many last lap crashes and too many unfortunate errors from the Spaniard. But amazing job for Filip Salac. He was, for me, one of the standout riders in Moto3, as well as Denis Onchu, which finished 4th and 5th together. Denis Onchu with the with the long lap penalty, and he was still almost right there fighting for the win towards the end. He went into turn 14 for the Adrian Campos corner, is around the outside, in the inside, everywhere you could possibly think of. But if anything, Filip Salac takes the Pofuera turn today, which is round the outside, currently held by Lorenzo. He is the man who was around the outside, same as Romano Fenati as a matter of fact. But Filip Salac from the Car Expert Prustal GP team was just brilliant. Of course, dropped from the Rivercole Snipers team early on in the year. He really came out throwing swings and punches and going around the outside. It was brilliant to watch. But the biggest discussion to be had, I guess I've been holding it off, but now it's time to discuss it, is Dennis Foggia and Pedro Acosta's incident going into the Duan corner, which is turn 2 here in Valencia. Now, personally for me, this is a rivalry that it's been brewing for a while, hasn't it? And it certainly is growing all the time. But it's a little bit of a shame that Moto3 is not going to have Pedro Acosta in next season, and Dennis Foggia remains here, because I would really like to see the finale of this rivalry. And I don't think it's ever going to stop, because they're pretty much going to be roughly near enough towards the next season, possibly after the next couple of seasons. Foggia's probably going to move up to Moto2 and probably lock horns with Pedro Acosta again. But the incident in question into turn 2 was the incident with Foggia diving up on the inside and having a bit of a lunge on Pedro Acosta. And I'm not sure really that it was anything foul play. I think he just wanted to try and get ahead of Costa, and as he did so, he gave no room, and unfortunately Acosta was bumped off his motorcycle. So Pedro Acosta Sanchez went into the gravel, and Dennis Foggia got a 3-second penalty for his troubles. But I wasn't sure that Foggia deserved the penalty as such. It did seem that it wasn't an aggressive move, he was just trying to get in the inside. We've seen a replication of it in Moto2 and MotoGP, but the riders used the experience to let the rider the overtaking rider go wide to then get the cutback, which I've seen in MotoGP, which I expected Pedro Acosta to do, but unfortunately turned into Foggia and therefore was sent down. But I don't think it's Pedro Acosta's fault in any shape or form. Dennis Foggia was the guilty party in the incident. 3-second penalty might have been a bit harsh, but at the end of the day, it didn't really matter anyway. The championship was already decided. He was still going to take second place, so that is that. But Alberto Sura, Andrea Mino, that was a damn shame to see them two crash, because of course both of them wearing Valentino Rossi helmets to celebrate the retirement of the GOAT, the legend. And a few more crashes unfortunately from Suzuki, Cooney, Joel Kelso, who also crashed going into turn 3, and with Jose Antonio Rueda as well. But that is pretty much it from Moto 3, because I've got a lot to discuss yet, and I've spent quite a bit of time already discussing Moto 3. So let's move on to Moto 2 and discuss the championship finale between Remy Gardner and Raul Fernandez. But first things first, let's discuss the carnage on the first lap going into the Doohan corner, which is turn 2. Carnage, absolute carnage. It seems to be that Bezzecchi went wide, Xavi Vierge also went a little bit wide, but picked the bike up abruptly and took out both Marco Bezzecchi, and the strewn motorcycle went into the side of Lorenzo Baldassarri, which ended his Grand Prix right there and then. And I tell you what, that is a disaster, especially for Lorenzo Baldassarri, because this is Balda's final Moto2 Grand Prix outing, and it ended in disaster. And I honestly think Lorenzo Baldassarri is one of the most talented riders within Moto2. Whether it's a case of his confidence has been affected, or he just can't find the right package, I'm not entirely sure, but he definitely deserves a ride somewhere else, from Moto E to World Superbike to potentially World Supersport. There's got to be a place for Lorenzo Baldassarri, because it's just a damn shame that he will not be featuring in any championship next season. And of course, ending the Grand Prix like that is just so harsh, it's so bad to see. And sadly, the chaos doesn't quite end there for the MV Agusta squad. Simone Corsi, of course, absolutely amazing in qualifying, gets the pole position, and unfortunately couldn't even start the race restart. Terrible, terrible luck for the old former part-time policeman. It's a damn shame that Corsi couldn't compete in the actual proper race. He started well in the first race, but once the restart happened, the bike just said no more. It just didn't work on the starting line, and unfortunately no Corsi in the actual race itself. But major props to Marco Bezzecchi and the entire Sky VR46 team. Were incredible, trying to fix Marco Bezzecchi's bike, doing absolutely everything they possibly could to get it fixed. Well, first and foremost, get it out of the gravel trap and get it back into the pits, to then get it fixed and completely replace any parts that were damaged, to then get out ready for the restart. It was so close, they were almost there to getting it out on time, but unfortunately they did have to start at the back of the grid, which unfortunately didn't really result in anything special. I was hoping for something rather fancy towards the end. Maybe Marco Bezzecchi carves his way through the entire pack, but unfortunately it was not meant to be, and he finished in 20th place. But that was the chaos before the race even started, and of course you actually have two championship contenders battling it out for the elusive Moto2 World Championship. And Remy Gardner and Raul looked so stressed out. More so Remy, he was so stressed in the pit and just waiting for them to finally crack on with the race. He was watching everyone clean up the damage and debris from the track, from the oil spill. But finally, we did get the race underway, and it was a very interesting race. Unfortunately, not the most exciting of races. Moto2 fortunately does this to us every now and again. But the championship on the line was so tense. It was really, really tense. I'm happy that Remy Gardner took away the World Championship. Of course, Raul Fernandez did everything he possibly could to try and win the championship and just misses out by 4 points. Unbelievable. Remy Gardner had a goal to do, and that was to finish ahead of 13th place. Raul Fernandez's goal, just win the race. It was great. It was really, really good to watch. The whole season has been fantastic in Moto2, especially the constant back and forth between Raul Fernandez and Remy Gardner. It's been a power struggle between the two teammates, but amazing job this season for both of them. Both of them MotoGP bound next season as well. Very keen to see what's going to happen, but I do think Raul Fernandez, of course only a rookie in Moto2, almost won the championship. He could be the next favourite in MotoGP in a couple more years. Who knows what's going to happen? The guy obviously takes to motorcycles quicker than we take to breathing, so who knows what's going to happen. But as far as the Grand Prix goes, Raul Fernandez, as mentioned, took the victory here. and Fabio Di Giannantonio, who led the majority of the Grand Prix, finished in second place with Augusto Fernandez, the man with the same namesake as the runner-up in the Moto2 World Championship, finished in third place. And of course, it gets even better for Aki Ayo, doesn't it? That Red Bull KTM team in Moto2 have had two riders battling out for the World Championship, already Team Championship, way early on in the season. I think they won by around 200 points, something like 100 points, 300 points, something ridiculous. And then, of course, Augusto Fernandez, the man who finished in the podium, is then going to the Red Bull KTM team. And pretty much, if you're in that Red Bull KTM team, you're a championship contender. It's as simple as that. The riders they have had in that team over the past couple of years are all phenomenal talents. So, my goodness, watch out again for the Red Bull KTM teams next season in Moto2. A terrific ride for Celestino Vietti. Sad that he didn't make it to the podium, but he was about 2 seconds away from the actual chance of getting on the podium. Of course, getting 2 seconds behind and then trying to get past makes it even harder, of course. Aaron Canet did really well, same as Xavi Vierge after the restart. Sadly, no sign of Sam Lowes as much. We didn't really see much of him. Of course, his final race this season, I did expect Sam Lowes to be back up there fighting for the podium. But of course, after a very rough crash on Friday, I'm surprised he was even able to finish this weekend. So amazing job for Sam Lowes. Quick mention of the couple of crashes. We did mention Simone Corsi and Lorenzo Baldassarri not taking part in the race restart. But in Hector Gartho, I think it was his 8th race this season he's crashed out, maybe more. He has crashed out a tremendous amount of races and unfortunately will not be in Moto2 next season. And I understand why, but again, a bit like Lorenzo Baldassarri, one heck of a talent, but unfortunately no ride next season for the Spaniard. And Dimas Eki Pratama unfortunately also crashed out as Tom Luthi, his teammate, bowed out in pretty good style as far as I'm concerned. Finished in 12th place, did the number 12. And he had an amazing career. I love Tom Luthi and I've watched him for a long time and I really expected him to take the Moto2 World Championship at some point, but unfortunately just never happened. He tried it out in MotoGP and unfortunately that didn't really work out either. But a great story for Tom Luthi, and the Swiss riders and Swiss fans should be very proud of what Tom Luthi has done over his career. Amazing tenure and very competitive in Moto2. One of the most successful riders in Moto2 history, no less. So amazing job for Tom Luthi and thank you for everything in Moto2 and we wish him best for the future, of course. But now moving on to MotoGP, the final Grand Prix of the year did not disappoint in any way, shape or form. Not quite as chaotic as last season's for between Franco Morbidelli and Jack Miller, but a very good race nonetheless. And of course my eyes were fixed on no more than the man who finished in 10th place, and that is of course the 46th, the man on your screen right now, Valentino Rossi. I desperately wanted him to finish in the points in his final Grand Prix and I'm so pleased he did. And honestly, he had a terrific race, he really did. The commentators mentioned it quite a lot. Of course, this weekend was pretty much all about Valentino Rossi, but the special part being that he was very fast in this final Grand Prix. There was certainly some good speed coming from the man with the 9 world champions. He was really good. He held off Frankie Morbidelli. Unfortunately, he couldn't quite hold off the other Ducati, such as Johan Zarco and Enea Bastianini, but he was very competitive and it was good to see. And of course, as Rossi bowed out, he did say he finished in the top 10, which means he's finished in the top 10 fastest riders in the world in MotoGP. You can't go wrong with that. Honestly, amazing career and amazing race for Valentino Rossi. Of course, I would have wanted him to be further up, possibly on the podium, but I didn't get it. It's okay. It doesn't matter. But one thing I will discuss, which I've heard, and I really don't like it, people were discussing that they should allow Valentino Rossi on the podium for the final Grand Prix. The other riders should effectively just let Rossi get on the podium or win. There's not a chance in hell that Valentino Rossi would have wanted that. And I think if you want that to happen, then you've not really understood what he's all about these past 26 years. The man has fought everything and done everything for the challenge and the passion of the sport. So if we just let that happen, we're just wasting that entire career. And I think that for every single rider on there, there's no reason that any rider should have to not compete just because someone's retiring. Rossi doesn't want it, I don't want it, and I don't think any of the other riders would have wanted it either. And I get this sentiment, I really do, just to get that 200 podiums, but is Rossi going to really lose much sleep over that one podium that wouldn't be there? Or that one podium that could have been, but we didn't get it? I don't think so. But enough about that for the time being. If you want to discuss that in the comment section down below, let me know. as I'll be lurking around somewhere for a good old chin wag. But we must discuss the actual Grand Prix that unfolded. As I say, it's not the best Grand Prix in the world, but it was still pretty good and very entertaining. My eyes were pretty much focused on Rossi just finishing in the points, of course, but the battle up at the front between Pecco Bagnaia, Martin and Jack Miller was pretty good. And Ducati are on a whole nother level right now. They are ridiculous, to be quite honest with you. Pecco Bagnaia's level at the minute is extremely high. The Bologna factory is going to be absolutely loving the performance from these three individuals, from Bagnaia, Martin and Jack Miller. And of course, don't even discount Enea Bastianini, who got it into the top 10 once again. Johann Zarco in 6th place. You can't fault what Ducati are doing right now. And next season, with 8 bikes on the grid, Ducati are going to be unstoppable. Absolutely unstoppable. But we must discuss the Grand Prix. A Ducati lockout for the first time ever, I do believe. And Bagnaia taking the victory. Impeccable Pecco. He is unbelievable right now. As just mentioned, his level is so high. Jorge Martin in 2nd place, the Rookie of the Year, of course, and the Independent Teams World Championship with the Pramac Ducati. Amazing. The guy hadn't even eaten for about 10 hours, I do believe. 12 hours, maybe 5 hours he was vomiting the previous night, and he puts that Pramac Ducati, which is not an easy bike to ride in the sense of its weight. It's a pretty hefty bike. Gets into 2nd place after having a battle with Jack Miller and Pecco Bagnaia. Unbelievable talent. Absolutely unbelievable. And Jack Miller finished in 3rd place. I did expect Thriller Miller to have a go at Jorge Martin towards the end of the Grand Prix, but it looked like he was getting close, and then unfortunately just ran out of time. He couldn't get any closer to Jorge Martin, but what a race and what a grand finish for this amazing championship. Joan Mir just missed out on the podium. I did expect better things from Joan Mir and the Suzukis, and of course got to mention Alex Rins crashing out once again. I hate to mention it, I really don't like bringing it up, but he was my pick for the championship this season, and he has disappointed me greatly. I will never, ever pick Alex Rins for any of my fantasy leagues, or even a bet to say he'll win the World Championship. It's very unreliable. He has to sort it out next season, otherwise bad things will come to Alex Rins in the sense of less contract offers and less opportunities, because I really love Alex Rins and I love his talent, but unfortunately he makes too many mistakes. And Suzuki can't keep paying the millions to pay for these bikes and damages. Come on Alex Rins, get it sorted, I'm a big fan. Just another note as well, Fabio Quartararo, the world champion of course, finishing in 5th place. A damn decent result for Fabio. I think he had a bit of a demons from last season after losing the championship here in Valencia, and of course it's a much special moment for Fabio being the world champion and knowing that he can just take the time off now, enjoy it, get to the testing and start the championship defence. But what a season it's been. I've absolutely loved it, and I've really enjoyed doing these recap videos for you guys, so let me know in the comment section down below if you've got anything else to discuss, and of course let me know in your feedback and feelings of MotoGP this season. For me it's been another cracking year and I love this sport so much, so let's bow out Valentino Rossi for the last dance with a huge wheelie across the line and celebrate his wonderful career. Thank you Valentino Rossi, thank you DrAce fans, thank you Aces in general. It's been an incredible season, but the content won't stop there. We still have plenty more content coming this week, plenty more MotoGP 21, Ride 4 and even some GP bikes as well. Let me know in the comment section down below about anything you want to discuss, because I'm up and eager for a good debate, and then we'll finally watch the rest of World Superbike coming this week. But guys, thank you very much for watching the video, thank you for watching the race recaps, I really enjoyed it and I'm going to miss doing these, I'll be honest with you. So upon that note, thanks for watching guys, like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed, hit the notification bell to be alerted to every single DrAce upload, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, ciao for now, and grazie vale. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite set your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.